So basically we're just talking about growth in the company, explain like how much we've grown in the last year, like where we were then and where we are now.
Yeah. The last couple of years have been a roller coaster, honestly. Just a lot of growth, fast growth. I don't know that I would call it too fast, but it's definitely sped up.
Yeah, well, and I would say too that we've never intended on explosive growth. Like
Right.
what we've always wanted is just steady growth over time, and
Yeah.
I feel like that's what we've achieved. I mean, it's crazy to think that 7 years ago was me, you, and the designer
In my dining room.
in his dining room. Yeah, yeah. But we certainly didn't get to this team or this level, this number of clients overnight.
No, and it wasn't by accident either, I mean, it's like a lot of times people look at it and they see what they would term an overnight success, and I'm like, yeah, but we're 8 years into it. And even before that, of just so much working together in chemistry and building of values, that by the time you do it intentionally, it just, growth becomes a byproduct almost of it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the really interesting things for me this year was the Inc. 5000 list.
That was a surprise.
Yeah.
Hey, today I want to share an announcement with you guys. We've been growing fast and really trying to navigate that and how we do that as a team and make sure that we serve our clients well. And sometimes when you're along that road, you kind of have these markers, you have these like signs, these kind of like mileposts where you see something and you're like, we're doing it, like we're in the right direction. And we recently got an award. I told you we were going to end up on the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing companies. Out of Inc. 5000, where do you think we landed?
400.
400, all right. Even, yeah, 400, all right.
250.
250. You guys are high for sure.
650.
650. We ended up 145.
I think what's interesting about an award like that is because we don't need it. I mean, I don't think we set out to like get all these awards. We don't enter these like design competitions or anything. But yeah, it's kind of almost this marker, like this milestone. Like we're on this journey and all of a sudden this sign comes up and we're like, oh, like this is the right road.
Right, yeah. Oh, this is working.
Yeah. So obviously when you grow like this, the elephant in the room becomes, can you maintain it? Can you scale? Can you still provide quality and an amazing client experience?
Yeah, it was such a process of getting everything out of our heads and onto paper and then into the hands of everybody on the team.
We've implemented before and after pages, but they're not really clicked. Like if we look at the overall page stats, they're like the last thing that people click.
I honestly had one patient's before and after photos mixed up and labeled them all incorrectly because I thought her afters were befores and her befores.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. We just finished our account manager meeting. We have it every Monday. We just talk about client progress, any issues we had for the week.
How
It's a
have
good
things
time.
been recently? Have they been extra busy?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're growing fairly quickly, but it's interesting. We have an interesting position on it because we're kind of like the first line of defense. I kind of, so to speak, with getting new clients, like we onboard them, we kind of walk them through the process. So it's an interesting, we see like a different wave with busyness. Like at first the account managers are kind of busy, and then that kind of gets handed to the designers and they're kind of busy, and that gets handed to the developers and they're kind of busy. So it's interesting to kind of see that pattern. Studio 88 is very proactive with hiring and preparing team members. So it's like we don't wait until things are crazy and stressful and then like we gotta find somebody and then like throw them in the middle of it and they're, you know, taking on new clients their first week or anything. We have a very like well thought out like onboarding structure and making sure that team members are able to shadow for a few months, get up to speed, and make sure they feel like really prepared.
How long have you been here?
6 months.
And how many clients are you managing right now?
Like 20? Pretty fully integrated. At least I know, like, if I don't know something, I know who to ask. So, yeah, we talked about that, like, knowing what you don't know as a new person being onboarded is really important. So I feel like I have a good awareness of that now.
Building the team has been, gosh, it's probably been one of the challenges the last couple years, just because there's a lot of it going on.
Yeah, when we're hiring, we're looking for 3 things: character, competency, and chemistry. The most important is definitely character. If we don't have a level of like trust with that person, it's just not going to work for us. We're a mostly remote team where everyone works independently, and we need to know that character's there.
Yeah. I'm always asking the question, like, what are they going to bring to the team? And I think when we see that with somebody, like, oh, they're really great and they're really like competent and creative, but they're also going to bring this piece to the team, I think that's the win-win.
So every time a new team member joins Studio 88, we have them sign our famous wall. This is Drew.
Hi, I'm Drew.
Either one or both or whatever you got, man.
Happiness lies in the joy of achievement. Ooh, and in the thrill of creative effort. Good job.
The biggest challenge for me when thinking about growth over these 8 years has probably been navigating what I call like these S-curve type moments.
An S-curve, we use it to describe all kinds of things. I mean, investment opportunities, businesses, like relationships, and the whole point is at first growth it moves slow, but then you kind of get into this like exponential phase, but eventually that thing will plateau and begin to die off. So this is the story of Blockbuster, right? Like brand new, like let's rent VHS tapes from a store, and then what, like fails to innovate probably like here, and Netflix comes in and takes them out. When it comes to S-curves, really the secret of it is before that thing plateaus, you intentionally start another one. And what happens is it creates this space here that gets a little bit, there's a technical term for this space mathematically, it's we call it funky land.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an uncomfortable feeling when you're jumping one of those S-curves to try to make a new one, because it's a little jarring to everyone. And they're like, well, why are we doing this?
Right.
Because everything seems fine, but you know, when you're kind of looking ahead and seeing where this is going, like, oh, this is gonna flatten off and eventually decline if we don't jump the curve again.
So we're at another place right now where we are looking ahead and going, yeah, if we don't make a decision like this, I feel like our growth could potentially plateau. And it's not anything that's going to surprise you guys, but I know last week we said we made 2 hires last week, and that wasn't entirely true. We made 3. So you know, we brought Drew on, so he's here. He's going to help build our video team. David Powers came on officially, and well, it's a freelancer role, but it's like a very legit part-time, 3/4 time, like freelance role. But we also hired Mike Sula, who was here a couple weeks ago. we started talking to him. It was almost just like an opportunity of going, like just knowing these guys are going to go everywhere, and they're legit. It's just a talented guy. So him and I started having some conversations about coming in and actually becoming our director of sales for this company.
We're sensing a limitation in capacity. And to be honest, I think some of that has been just even with me, because some of these have been areas I've been in, and we get to capacity. So it's been like building a team or knowing like, okay, this area is at capacity, we got to build a team. But then sometimes just even building a team is not enough.
Okay guys, so check it out. Radcliffe designed this beautiful Skyview Dentistry website. And let me know if you see anything.
How has your job changed because of growth?
Janet's taken over most of it, so it's been great.
Janet, is this true?
I don't know.
There's a lot more going on. There's a lot more moving pieces right now.
More time management.
Yep.
Figuring out where the pieces fit. For sure.
It's kind of putting our processes in testing mode right now to see if you actually got your stuff together. So it's been great. Yeah. I mean, can I just mention my favorite part of this whole process is hiring new people? Because like you think you have a really good team, and then we start hiring people and they add like a whole new flavor that you didn't even know you were missing and stuff. So that's been my favorite part, is like the new people coming on.
When you start a company, CEO means Chief Everything Officer.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I think we've both kind of shared that doing a little bit of everything role. Right.
And if you and I just try to keep our hands on it, it's like that's a really narcissistic way to run a company, you know? Secondly, it's just like there is so much talent here that you and I don't have to maintain that responsibility. And then others come along and you see these like little hints of brilliance, and you're like, that right there, like do that, do more of that.
Perfect, awesome, and then maybe hand the appliance back.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
That's great. Awesome. Yeah, you can be looking this way for one, and then
On the bottoms and the outside.
let's see. I'm gonna pop a little bit of flash into this situation. So you can just maybe take one hand, like maybe lean on the wall or something. If it feels, that feels kind of natural. Yeah, that's perfect.
So I think that's what I love, is providing a safe environment where people can be themselves, find their lane, do their thing, and feel great about it.
No doubt. I mean, from day one, our kind of battle cry has been happy team, happy clients, and that has not changed.
It's a fun season for sure, and I think we're just trying not to take it for granted. I had a friend recently tell me, he was like, looking back, some of his most intense seasons of life were actually his most fun. And I know like things can get intense around here. I know there are times I'm like, oh my goodness, but we're also having the time of our lives, like doing this.
You guys are gonna take your gifts. You're each gonna hold a brand colored balloon, and we're gonna say happy birthday in unison once. Ready?
Yes.
And then we're all gonna know that this was a big bash. Can't be no parties. Just another video game.
Just hold that.
Wait, where's the Jersey mics in here?
It's so
Dude, I get the
Instead of singing, we're just gonna say happy birthday on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday to us.
We have to take
It's
a
the birthday.
picture, and then we can be done. Take a team picture, and then we'll be done. Everyone.
So we're doing the combined birthday. So what is it? So to explain what happened. We did all for 1 month, or?
Yeah, so we used to do separate birthdays. Everyone got a very individualized party, which was really nice. But as the team is growing, it's getting a little bit more difficult to do that. So we are combining birthdays for the month. This month happened to be 3 of our beloved team members.
As we grow, what's really important to me is that things get even better than they were at the beginning. We're on a journey of just constant improvement. So I feel like our life right now is just making these little tweaks here and there, updating processes, keeping everybody on the same page, and just making things scalable as we grow.
That's so true. And I feel like I just showed a website like a week ago, and I literally think it's one of the best ones we've ever done.
Yep.
And I think like 3 or 4 weeks before that, I showed another one, and I was like, guys, this is the best website we've done. It's just crazy because it's not like hyperbole, like that is actually happening. 8 years into it, we are producing our best stuff.